So it's been about 2 weeks now since I unboxed and actually started using my base model iPhone 17. So I just wanted to make this video kind of showcasing how I use it in a real week in my life.
Think I might do this a while. My money goes on for miles. That's travertine on the tiles. I'm calculated, I'm down. And that's a pink slip, no lead. Hey, my yo, man.
So every clip you just saw was recorded on the iPhone 17. And I will say, even if I had my FX3 with me there, I'd probably have still used my phone just because it's just so much easier. And that won't be the only clips from my phone this video. Throughout this next week, I plan on using it quite a bit. And another point I'll be hitting on this video that I wasn't really able to test in the others is battery life. Now it's out for about 2.5 hours and I was playing music with Spotify in my car through my phone. And I was also using it for like navigation with maps. And it is down to, it just went down to 70%. And another upgrade that I really did notice is, as you can see, it's pretty bright outside. And of course my car is filled with windows. It wouldn't be much of a safe ride if it wasn't. With the brighter display on the 17, especially compared to the 11s, it was perfectly visible in like all of the lighting conditions. So I'll be trying to hit on everything that actually comes up through using this phone within a week of my life, which is creating wise and just general life wise. So I think that kind of means I can productively doom scroll because it's part of the battery test, right? But as you might have noticed, I have a case and screen protector on this phone. Now, Rhino Shield sent me a couple cases just to try out. They sent a few different kinds, like the completely clear kinds, which isn't exactly my style, some completely almost rubber kind, or like the kind I have here, rubber on the outside and this nice clear back plate, which I think that's the perfect combo. A downside of the base 17s and not the 17 Pros is the blue color. I love that blue. And now I get it, just in case form. So, thank you to Rhino Shield, my whole case situation is solved, but more excitingly, the screen protector. Now, this is a matte screen protector. I have never used one before in my life, but I love it. Like if I turn this on, I'm not sure if you can really see it, but the reflections look much nicer. Right now, I plan on keeping the 17 for multiple years. I think having a case and screen protector that not only makes it look better and feel better, but also protects the phone itself as originally intended is great. Now there's one big upgrade that's noticeable right out of the box and probably had the most hype, and that is the Pro Motion display. Let's just get it over with now. It's amazing. That extra smoothness of moving things around and like swiping things up and down, especially combined with the iOS 26 liquid glass design. It is a party for my eyeballs. These little guys are loving it. And hopefully in the next few days, I'll be doing some cool stuff, getting outside, getting some nice shots of the fall weather with my 17's camera. At the end of the day, I'll also be checking in on the battery life. So after some productive doom scrolling, for scientific purposes, of course, I finally decided to get to work in my room. I started by planning some future videos, which I do on the app Craft, and I pretty much do 100% of my work on my MacBook, also including starting to cut up this video, which I did right after. And a bit later, around 8 p.m., I called it a day, work-wise and also battery-wise, ending the day at 33%. Which is significantly lower than normal, but that's likely due to having significantly more screen time than normal. Most days I've been ending with around 50 to 60% battery left, so we'll see how that goes throughout the rest of the week. But either way, 33% is much better than the 12% after plugging it in at least once already that I was getting with my old iPhone 11, so I have been super happy with that performance. I ended the day by breaking out my good old Windows desktop, watching my New York Giants play Thursday Night Football, while also playing my recent game of choice, which is Starfield. I got like 300 Star Wars mods on it, so it's pretty much that game that I always wanted as a kid. So it's safe to say that, especially with the rare New York Giants win, I enjoyed the rest of my night. The next day starts off with 94% battery after charging it to 100% and flipping it into sleep mode overnight. I made a coffee in my winning team's mug while uploading and scheduling a video for the upcoming weekend. And at the end of this video and, the week, I'll go over all of the main big things that I've noticed through using the iPhone 17 so far. For part of an upcoming video that should already be out by now if you're watching this, I bought a new mechanical keyboard for my desk. And of course, like the good human and member of society I am, I took this plastic and found the nearest body of water to throw it in. It was honestly kind of hard to find a good mechanical keyboard for Mac, but this one from Keychron feels really good, sounds good, works good. So, I mean, I think it's safe to say it is good. And I had back-to-back days of eating out. This time it was some Detroit pan pizza. It was absolutely scrumptious. Then after, with using the new keyboard, I continued to plan out videos for the week to come while also continuing to make progress with this video. And again, since I have a Mac, offloading clips with my phone with AirDrop is awesome. And I've noticed, especially with the 17, it almost never fails no matter how many files I'm transferring. Also, seeing a little activation of the dynamic island for AirDrop is a cool little touch. At this point in the early afternoon, with probably only 40 minutes of on-screen time, the battery is still sitting at 86%. In a video like this, recording with multiple devices, especially over the course of a week, things can get messy fast, so in an effort to stay organized, I try to cut up everything in order so far. But you know, why not try to spend as much money as possible in a 1 week span between the new keyboard, food, and now items to cook food? I bought a stainless steel pan. Why? Because they're simply better. I cook eggs like every day, and there is a finesse to it, and as we soon find out, I do not have it. There's a certain way to preheat it so nothing sticks. So I tried a single egg, and I'm glad I kept it to one because I failed miserably. That did not work, but at least it didn't taste terrible. No more Teflon in my food. I'm still a big fan of microplastics though. I can't give that up yet. But I will be trying again tomorrow. Redemption is coming soon. But after that tragic defeat, really, I decided it's time to employ a tactical, watch YouTube to test my battery and claim it's for this video and convince myself it's productive. But to round the night off, I continued to pick away at some future videos, and I'm not even kidding, watched a YouTube video on how to properly cook on stainless steel, because apparently I need it. That ended day number 2 with the normal 55% battery life I was getting, with about 3 to 3.5 hours of screen time. It is now Tuesday, and I have kind of a lot to mention here with this past weekend with the iPhone 17. So let's start with Saturday. When I woke up, it was at 96% battery because for me personally, I unplugged my phone overnight. I don't know if that's like bad for the battery to keep it plugged in overnight, so it's at a crisp 100 when you wake up, but I don't know, let me know what you do. Now for that day, I was taking a little day trip with my family, and this is the first phone I've ever had with 5G. And honestly, testing it in the car ride for things like Instagram, Spotify, YouTube, I did not notice a difference. What was nice is, again, using Spotify, the dynamic island was excellent. And I love that feature when I'm actually using it. And I was using my 2nd gen AirPod Pros throughout, pretty much the entire trip. I really just don't have any reason to upgrade. I would like to get a USB-C port, but that's really not that big of a deal. And side note on the new USB-C port, at least new to me, it's actually only made me spend more money because I had to replace the charging cable in my room. I had to replace the one for my car. So I have not yet been able to really reap the benefits of having pretty much all my devices with the same cable. But I think long-term, this is much better. Now you might be asking, where was I actually traveling? To see a giant troll in the woods. That is not an exaggeration. It was actually like a really nice fall day, and what can make it even better than seeing a giant wooden troll in the woods? Apparently a guy builds these all over the world, and there's a few near me, so I decided to stop in and say hello. It is quite a strange thing. It just felt like a fever dream. Like, why is this existing? But it was pretty cool. We also just spent some time kind of roaming the streets, checking out the local areas, and it was fun to put the new dual capture mode to use. I will say it's probably very limited when that feature is actually useful, but I mean, it's fun to capture what's in front of me and also my reaction to it. And I did not bring my Sony FX3. I only brought my iPhone 17, so everything you're seeing has been recorded on it. Some of the shots were in cinematic mode, some are just the basic. But the best time to get some really nice looking video is golden hour. So we went to the beach while the sun was setting, and boy, some of these shots looked really, really good. The best part about all of this was it was so easy because I'm recording it on a phone. There's no setup needed. I just point it in the direction I want and it gets a pretty nice looking shot. And then after the drive back and about 3 hours of Spotify use, a little bit of navigation, a little bit of Instagram scrolling thrown in there, my phone was down to 45% battery after the entire day, which I think that's pretty good. For the rest of the weekend through Sunday and Monday, I was pretty much just doing the same stuff, planning videos, and honestly just chilling. That Sunday, I had a new video go live, which I was excited for, while watching some football. God, I love having a laptop just to be able to do that. I'm very privileged. On another worse note, that video that I was excited for is severely underperforming and I'm disappointed. But, you know, just part of the process. And as of this morning, debatably more impressive than the iPhone 17 is my stainless steel cooking skills. But today is Tuesday. Yes, I did start a week in the life video on a Thursday. What are you gonna do about it? Click off the video? Wait, don't do that. But tomorrow, since I'm gonna be recording, for this video, I'm actually gonna dive into why I went with the base 17 instead of like the Pro or Pro Max, because those cameras are better and would be better for recording. Between the jazz music that I threw on Spotify and the sound of my new keyboard, great purchase, Carter, I had a pretty chill rest of the day, mostly getting ready for tomorrow's recording. Now it's time to actually get to work here. It's the recording day and I'm going to be capturing a bunch of behind the scenes on my phone. Now I am an advocate that phone cameras and the 17's camera is great and you can use that to record full YouTube videos, but this goes into my point on why I got the base model and not the Pro Max. I have an amazing camera right here. In the situations where I'm going to need the max quality, I'm not going to be reaching for my phone no matter what one it is. I'm going to be reaching for my FX3. So yeah, are the Pros and Pro Maxes better video quality compared to this? Yes, but am I gonna really find that much of a difference in my personal use case? No. I would love the telephoto, but honestly, the little 2x zoom on my phone, which I used a lot over the weekend, looks very solid. Like this is good enough quality where I'm perfectly comfortable putting it in my videos, but if it's like not too much of a hassle, which most times it isn't, I'm just gonna use my FX3 anyways. It's the better image. And talking about recording on my FX3, I have a full video to record about my Apple Watch. I'm gonna be doing the A-roll, the B-roll, the thumbnail. I'm doing everything today, so let me get into that. Okay, just finished the first part of the recording. This is actually just the speakers on the iPhone 17, which I'm not sure I've actually tested yet. Of course, it's not gonna be as good as my little mic there, but like everything else on this phone, I'm sure it'll hold up pretty well. Since this video was pretty straightforward, just talking about an Apple Watch, it makes things like thumbnails so much easier since all I really have to do is just get a few nice pictures of the watch itself. But a sneakily time-consuming part of recording is the unpacking, setup, teardown, and packing back up of the gear. But that wrapped up a pretty productive filming day. Due to the more chill start of the week, to stay ahead with recordings, I wanted to completely finish the next one as well, which is about my desk setup. For something like this, I made sure to shot list everything, so when I'm talking about a certain part of my desk, I have the visual to show that clearly. And for the iPhone 17, it easily made it through this day and yesterday, since I actually didn't charge it at all last night. But because of that, and for the first time ever actually, it dipped under 20%. But considering it's being used for 6 to 8 hours with the screen being on, so far I'm a big fan of the battery life I'm getting. So it's been 1 full week now since starting this video, and this is my last iPhone 17 video before I post like the full thought out review. So this is kind of just my final documentation, especially with the way I pushed it throughout this past week. And starting with one of the main key points of this video, the battery. This has been fantastic. Like I have gotten 2 full days out of it, and it's just so nice not to have to worry like, where's the nearest charger? You know, just in case it dies. And even with just using it for like recording, screen recording, music, YouTube, whatever it is, it feels like the battery goes down very consistently. It doesn't like drop a lot like my old phone was doing. Now, the second thing I want to talk about is storage. Now, I think when storage is really doing its job is when you don't notice it at all. And having 256 gigs throughout the whole past week, I haven't even had to think about, am I gonna have to delete something to free up room? It's been amazing, really. Now, for features like the dynamic island, I feel like I have been actually using them more. I've been listening to Spotify more, so it's nice to control it there. And I'm figuring out new ways to use it, actually thanks to a comment with the Apple Sports app. You can just track the live score up top. That's exactly what I think the dynamic island should be used for. I think that's nice. Now, the obvious things that you notice day to day, the screen's brighter. It is a lot smoother with the ProMotion. I still notice it. It's also higher resolution and just like a better quality display compared to what I was used to. And that mixed with the matte screen protector, it just looks very nice. It's just a lot of quality of life upgrades that are noticeable day to day. And even for something like Face ID, like I find it to be more accurate and faster. And talking about fast, I got the quickest camera draw in the Wild West thanks to the new camera control button. Like that one shot I got of the seagull, I used it to open the camera app, and then I also used it to zoom in all the way. So I actually find it to be pretty useful. And looking back at some of the footage I got this past week, it really does hold up, especially if you get it in the right lighting scenario. But I've said it before, it's definitely not the best quality camera I have, but it definitely is the easiest one to use. And you know, just to be completely real, when I first bought this, I did have a bit of FOMO because I saw the Pros, the Pro Maxes, even the Air, and I'm like, this is just a regular iPhone. But slowly but surely, a few weeks later, I really think I made the best decision here. What's exciting about this phone isn't any like gimmicky features, it's the value. Like it's a very safe pick, and I am inclined to think that it was the best one for me. Like I said, my full review video on this is coming soon, so if that interests you, feel free to subscribe, and thank you for watching.